Hi everyone, this is Caitlin with Kait's Collectibles, and this is my review of the Disney Store limited edition 17-inch Aladdin doll. So Aladdin was one of the surprise dolls, the kind you could not pre-order when Jasmine's pre-order came out. You had to buy him in the store the day that she was released, him along with Jafar. So Aladdin is an edition of 3,500. So his number is highlighted down there at the bottom of his box. Aladdin is, I guess depending on how you look at how they've released male dolls in the line, they started with Prince Eric, and then they did Prince Philip, and I guess Kristoff technically, and then Aladdin and Jafar. So I think that a lot of the, not really mistakes, I guess, but like they've been slowly improving with these dolls, and I think Aladdin they did a really nice job with in terms of a Prince doll. So you'll see here with his box, they've really gone for kind of a royal looking theme. He seems to be in his little hideaway house, whatever you want to call it, looking out at the palace with the scenery behind him. We've got a few gemstones. There's a very subtle print on the white, like with a lot of the other dolls. Nothing too revolutionary. I like the way they've posed him in the box because it gives you a nice view of the most detailed parts of the doll. If we spin him around to the side here, you get more of a view of that sword as well as some of the detail on the front of his vest. So a really nice look at him there. From the other side, you get more of a look at the back of him as well as at Abu up on his shoulder. And I really like this sort of scroll work, almost carpet-like pattern that they've gone with. And at the back of him here, so we have the usual details. We've got the logo for the movie, Aladdin, some details about the doll, certificate and display stand like usual. I really like that for all of these dolls, like they've gone with a lot of this like jewel theme, these really royal colors. At first I wasn't so sure about the colors that they selected, but the more I look at it, especially with the gold, I really do like it. And the purple for Aladdin makes sense because it's supposed to be, I think, similar to the color of the vest that he wears. I'll give you a quick look at him from the top here. So a bit of a tough view. He's got his little fez there and it's all puffed up, as well as he's got real hair. There's obviously a lot of product in it to kind of mold it in place. Aladdin has what I would probably describe as a very difficult hairstyle to really replicate on a doll with hair. So I think he suffers less than some of the other princes do from having the real hair, just because he actually had hair with quite a bit of body. So a really quick look at his plastic cover because it is not all that interesting. So much like the other plastic covers, we've got the same sort of details as before. The main thing of note is what shows up in the windows. So he's got this kind of a little pattern there. And that's the same, just like almost like a smaller version of it as well here. So I can show off what it is. There you go. So nothing interesting to note about his packaging, unlike Jafar's, which if you watch my Jafar video, you will see what I have to say about that. Now, Aladdin is the first Disney movie I remember seeing in the theater. My dad took us to see it, I think it was for Father's Day, and it made a really big impression on me. So I was so hopeful that they were going to be doing these dolls when they came out with the Blu-ray. So a really nice look at Aladdin here. My one complaint with this doll is that his face, to me, really doesn't look at all like Aladdin's. If you haven't heard this before, I'm sorry because I might ruin this doll forever for you. I still love him, but someone pointed out that his face looks a lot like Bruce Jenner's did. I don't know how true that is, but he's got a little bit of that like kind of smirk. you'll see as you go down, the vest is super detailed. I absolutely love what they did with his vest here. It gives him, for something so simple, a really, really elegant look. I mean, he's supposed to be a thief, a street rat, poor, so maybe the elegant vest is not accurate. But I really, really like all that stitching, all that detailing you can see up close there. They also did a good job with the doll in terms of his joints being articulated and not having anything to hide them. I don't think they're super noticeable, more so at the ankles with the princesses because it's not very graceful. He's got this sword in his hand, and you can see there's a little bit of jewel detail on the hilt here. Then we go down to his belt, has a little bit of detail. He's got kind of his MC Hammer pants. They actually put these little sort of pseudo pocket bits in, which is kind of neat. And then you can see down there what the feet look like. Technically, his pants should probably sit a little higher up, not quite completely at his ankles. They should be almost like mid-calf. Now, one thing to note as well is that the patches on his pants, which were kind of a key character identifier, are on the leg that is in behind. So they're very, very difficult to see. Let's see if we can get a better look. There you go. So those are the patches that are on his pants there. And same thing, they added a little bit of creative detail to it. I do like that with the back one, they've got those little black stitches showing, so it does look a lot like the yellow patch that he had on his pants. I think the texture of the fabric that they used was really well suited. It gives it like these, it makes the pants look like they'd be light, airy, breezy, comfortable to wear in a desert. A boo on his shoulder up here too is a must-have. He's sort of an essential companion. And similar to the Iago figure that comes with Jafar, they've done a little bit of detail work with his paint. Not a ton, but just enough to make him look a little bit nicer than, say, one of the cheap plastic play figures that you would get. The only thing I would like them to have done in terms of accessories is rather than giving Aladdin a sword, which I think he only holds a sword in his hand maybe a few times in the movie, really. And he certainly, other than fighting Jafar, really isn't ever actually using one. It would have been nice for them to give him the lamp, to have the lamp in both hands. That would have been, I think, a more thoughtful detail. But the sword looks very masculine, so I can see why they went with that. So like all the other dolls, Aladdin's certificate is tucked underneath. And there you go. So you can see his certificate here. Mine is number 2436 of 3500. So not a particularly low number. Now, if you watch my Jafar video, the French side of the certificate, there's a little bit of a goof up. That isn't the case on Aladdin's. So Aladdin has his actual name there, but the warning label is just kind of over the French side. It basically says the same thing as what's on the English side. So if you're a fan of the Aladdin movie and you're a doll collector, then I would really recommend the Aladdin doll, mostly because I think they did some nice job with the detail. He looks really good when you've got all of the dolls together. If you're someone who likes to debox them as well, there's a lot of enjoyment to be had with this doll just because of how you can pose him. If you're sort of lukewarm on Aladdin and you're more of a villain lover or a princess lover, the Jasmine or the Jafar dolls are a better choice. I don't think Aladdin's price is going to skyrocket right away. It'll take some time. Jafar has been, from what I've seen online, reasonably sought after, and Jasmine as well, actually. So those two I think will hold their value pretty well. He's a little bit more of a wild card, but if you like having him in your collection like I do, definitely get Aladdin. So I hope you enjoyed my review. Make sure you follow me on Twitter at Kait Collectible. You can also like, comment, share, and subscribe if you want to see more updates as to when I've got new videos out. Thanks!